Good afternoon to all the faculties who have joined in here. We'll be starting the session at sharp 3:05 p.m. So I kindly request to inform your friends, students, and other faculty members to join in. Good afternoon to everyone. This is a final reminder that we will be starting the session at 3:05 p.m. So kindly inform your faculty members to join in quickly. A very good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to all the directors, HODs, professors, and the faculty members who have joined in here for today. So, on behalf of XLR, I sincerely thank you all for taking out your time to be a part of this faculty development program on Agentic AI, MCP, A2A, and Enterprise AI agents. So, before we begin, let me give you a quick introduction to XLR. XLR was founded by an IIM ISB alumni the year 2013, and it has 8 branches in 5 cities with its headquarters in Houston, USA. So far, XLR has trained over 8 lakhs plus students and professionals across various domains, catering to individuals, institution, and industry. So few of our premium associations include iHub Divya Sampar, Naipunyam, Skilepi, Apshe, Task, BFSI, NASCOM Future Skills Prime, and many more. So with over a decade of excellence in training, we have conducted almost 1,000 plus webinars. We have conducted 30 plus technical courses, collaborated with 2,000 plus academic partners, and worked with 5,000 plus placement partners. Apart from this, we have also trained almost 80,000 plus faculty through the faculty development programs and 8 lakh plus students through the student development program. So far, we have about 8,28,853 students participating and 76,577 faculties participating in our everyday learning program. So for today's faculty development program on Agentic AI, we have registrations from various states, and we have the highest from Telangana state with 273, followed by Andhra Pradesh with 253, and followed by Maharashtra and other states. We also have registrations from different streams such as engineering, MCA, degree, and MBA. Our total registration count as for today is 1,314. Our everyday learning initiative, it focuses on providing application and industry-oriented learning on trending technologies for free from industry experts with in-depth knowledge on the subjects. The goal is to provide hands-on learning experience, help students and faculty with real-world applications, support institutions in meeting NAC and their NBA accreditations. You can also find the registration link in the chat box. So the learner can click on it to register, or they may also visit the XLR website to complete their registration. And upon the successful completion of the program, the learner or the participant will receive a participation certificate. And additionally, we collaborate with the colleges by signing MOUs to conduct and collaborate for the SDPs and the FDP, along with placement readiness drives to support in their career. Through the everyday learning programs, participants benefit from 30 plus hours of professional training, assignments and assessments, real world industry use cases, placement preparation sessions, coding challenges and campus recruitment training, a lifetime LMS access, and also certificates after the participation or completion. So this is how our LMS dashboard looks like. A learner can log in using their username and password that they would have received after the registration through their email, and they can access the course they have enrolled in. They can also view the courses they have registered for in the past. So far, in XLR, we have conducted almost 70 plus student development programs with 2,300 hours delivered, and a total of 2,000 plus participating colleges are there with 8 lakh plus students every time. So these are few common programs in our student development. We have ChatGPT and AI, Salesforce, Advanced Excel, Full Stack Development. Among the faculty development program, we have conducted almost 50 plus with 2,000 plus colleges participating regularly, and we have delivered 600 plus hours with around 2 lakh faculties joining in regularly. And some of the most common programs include digital marketing, deep learning, data analytics, and data analytics using tab. So this is how our faculty and the student development certificates look like. These certificates will be given to the learner after they register for the program and attend the live online classes. They'll have to attend the classes regularly every day and mark their attendance. And each session it will be eligible to receive the certificate upon the completion. These were a few recent engagements. We have successfully conducted programs at prestigious institutions like IIT Roorkee, where we have conducted training on data analytics using Minitab. And this was at BITS Bilani Hyderabad campus. It was a student initiative where training was done on the program Power BI and machine learning. So here the students themselves have approached XLR to conduct these few programs. We also had a skill up program for the final years, which was a 240 plus hours of campus recruitment training with placement assistance that started from Jan 2024 till April 2024 and had covered coding skills, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, verbal ability, soft skills, and resume and LinkedIn profile building. At the end, there was also a group discussion and personal interview provided for the students. So this program has benefited thousands of students with placement assistance, and this is how the participation certificate looks like. So after completing the Skill Up program, it was issued by iHub Divya Sampark, which is a joint initiative of IIT Roorkee and the Government of India Department of Science and Technology, where out of 50,000 students, only 5,200 students were eligible for the certificate that was given based on their assignments and their attendance. These are few newspaper snippets. You can see here our maximum registration was from APSSDC, where around 10,150 engineering students participated in the session. So these were the few programs which we had conducted for the students and faculties in the month of Feb. This was in March, and this was in April. So without any further delay, coming to today's program on Faculty Development Program on Agentic AI, MCP, A2A, and Enterprise Agents. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed guests for today. We are honored to have distinguished academicians with us who bring decades of experience, research excellence, and contribution to education and innovation. Firstly, we have Dr. Altaf Omolani, who is a professor and head at SKN Singad College of Engineering, Pune. Sir has been a professor and head at the Department of Electronics and Communication with around 22 plus years of experience in teaching, academic administration, and research leadership. His expertise is in VLSI, embedded systems, and image processing, where he has published almost 100 plus research papers and holds 18 UK patents and 2 Indian patents. He has served as an IQSC coordinator, PG coordinator, and examination coordinator, and has actively mentors research scholars and has organized international conferences with Scopus Index proceedings while securing funded research grants. So Altaf sir, a very warm welcome to you. We would like to hear a few words from your end.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you. Thank you for a nice introduction, first of all. Good afternoon to all the esteemed dignitaries, respected faculty members, researchers, and dear participants. It is my privilege to welcome you all to this faculty development program on Agentic AI, MCP, A2A, and Enterprise AI agents. In today's rapidly evolving technological landscape, AI is moving beyond simple chatbots and predictive systems toward autonomous, intelligent agents capable of planning, reasoning, collaborating, and executing complex tasks. Agentic AI represents the next frontier of AI innovation. Technologies such as MCP enable AI systems to securely connect with external tools, databases, and applications, extending their capabilities far beyond traditional AI models. Similarly, agent to agent communication allows multiple AI agents to collaborate, share information, and solve complex problems collectively. Enterprise AI agents are transforming industries by automating workflows, enhancing decision making, improving customer experiences, and increasing organization efficiency. As educators and researchers, it is essential for us to understand these emerging paradigms and explore their applications in teaching, learning, research, administration, provides an excellence platform ideas and develop competencies in cutting edge AI technologies that will help to shape the future of higher education and industry. I encourage all the participants to actively engage in these sessions, interact with experts, and explore innovative possibilities offered by agentic AI. I'm confident that knowledge gained during this program will inspire new research directions and practical implementations in your respective domains. I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers, especially XLR team, speakers, and participants for making this FDP possible. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive, enriching learning experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very insightful and informative talk.
You can continue.
Okay, sir. Yeah. So next we have Dr. G. Srinivasulu, who is an associate professor of computer science and engineering and a HOD, JB Institute of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, Telangana State. Sir has over 27 years of academic experience with 8 years of industry and 9 years of research experience. His high performance computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and big data, with numerous publications in reputed journals, conferences, and book chapters. Sir holds a PhD in computer science and actively contributes to research and innovation and is a life member of the Computer Society of India. Dr. G. Srinivasulu, sir, we would like to hear a few words from your end.
Thank you, Sheetal Madam, for that kind introduction. And I also wish a good afternoon to all, especially to my uh, fellow speakers from hosting colleges of Khalsa College for Women, Punjab, and SKN Singhad College of Engineering from Pandharpur. Good afternoon to all. The distinguished speakers of co-hosting colleges, respected team members from XLR, and my dear participants of FDP from faculty and students of premier institutions across India. And maybe in the beginning, Madam has told that there are about 1,000 odd registrations for this course, and it is very glad to hear that. And it is a matter of a great privilege and honor for me to join you today as a distinguished guest speaker for the inaugural session of this faculty development program on Agentic AI, MCP, that is Model Context Protocol, Agent to AI Agent, and Enterprise AI Agents. I extend my heartfelt thanks to XLR team for this opportunity and for their continued commitment to empowering faculty across the country. XLR has played a truly transformative role over the years in bringing in what is in latest in the industry to both students and faculty, thereby helping the faculty and students to keep abreast with the changes that are happening in the industry. And these kind of initiatives like the FDP like this will definitely help all us, the faculty community, to better our pedagogy, improve our curriculum, to come out with better curriculum and change our mindset and remain relevant in this AI augmented world. Friends, we are witnessing a rapid evolution of artificial intelligence. Right, we have seen simple chatbots to now predictive models to truly autonomous and goal-oriented systems. Like agentic AI represents the next frontier, right? As we all know, where AI agents don't just respond to the prompts like a traditional LLM, but proactively plan, reason, use the tools to collaborate, and even execute the complex tasks. And all this is done with minimal human intervention or sometimes without human intervention. So obvious that, as we all know, year 2025 was considered as year of AI agents, and now we are talking about enterprise agents which have actually taken over the thing, right? So the shift is transformative, and for research, education, industry, and society at large, it is essential. These developments which we are listening now are not just technical milestones, they are foundational to building the next generation of intelligent systems. And these systems can tackle complex and real world challenges in domains like healthcare, education, finance, governance, and beyond. Right, dear participants, as we embark on this 5-day journey together, I request you all to actively engage yourself in the workshop, keep asking the questions, experiment with the concepts of MCP, A2A, and enterprise AI agents, and think about how you can adopt these ideas within your own institutions. And also, uh, I hope that this FDP will mark the beginning of many of innovative initiatives in your classroom and research laboratories. I firmly believe that FDPs do not merely update the knowledge, they ignite curiosity, they encourage experimentation, and equip all us, the faculty community, with the confidence to integrate cutting edge concepts into our teaching and research. Okay, for us in academia, this kind of FDPs are crucial. As faculty members, we have the responsibility to equip ourselves and our students with the knowledge and skills to contribute and lead this agentic revolution which is happening already. Whether it is in designing curriculum or using the agents architecture. Okay. Well, I hope this 5-day workshop organized by by XLR will help all the participants to get insights into the concepts of MCP, Model Context Protocol, Agent to Agent, and Enterprise AI agents, and help them to better start using them in their classroom. And I thank XLR for giving us this opportunity and including our institution in the co-hosting institution. Thank you very much. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your kind words. It was a pleasure having you with us today. So next, we have Dr. Kamaljit Juwal, who is a principal from Khalsa College for Women, Civil Lines, Ludhiana. Ma'am has served around 35 years plus distinguished service in education. She is known for fostering academic excellence, leadership, and student empowerment. Her research and scholar and sustainability advocate with significant contributions through research papers, books, environmental initiatives, and community development programs. She has also recognized nationally for excellence in teaching, women's empowerment, innovation, entrepreneurship, and holistic student development, including the prestigious Award of Honor for the Best Teacher. So, Kamaljit ma'am, we would like to hear a few words from your end.
Sheetal ma'am has not joined.
Okay. So, we will move on to the subject matter expert for our day today, Mr. Arif Nawal, who is a senior corporate technical trainer with around 10 plus years of experience in data science, AI/ML, generative AI, cloud computing, business intelligence, and IoT, and I've trained 2,000 plus professionals across industries. He's industry expert and certified professional, delivering customized training programs for leading organizations such as Deloitte, Tata, Shell, Walmart, Genpact, and Aditya Birla Group, and is certified in Microsoft Azure and Power BI. He's a specialist in emerging technologies with expertise in generative AI, LLMs, prompt engineering, agentic AI, cloud platforms, data analytics, and machine learning, and is known for bridging industry and academia through impactful learning programs. So, Mr. Arif, we would like to hear a few words from your end.
Yeah, thanks, Sheetal. Thanks for that kind introduction. First of all, would like to welcome all of the participants that we are having in here. Thank you so much for taking your time off so that you could join us with this Agentic AI session. Um, Honestly, I'm not gonna speak too much initially because later, I think, as part of the teaching process, I'm gonna be interacting a lot with you all. Yeah. So we already had a few of our experts and our co-hosting team with the faculties giving their insights about the current landscape of how we are expecting AI agents and agents in today's date, how we are exceptionally working towards an aggressive building for agents and AI. So, yeah, we will be discussing a lot in detail about how to actually build this stuff. Yeah, how to actually be well versed with it so that from this faculty development program, right? So at the end of it, we are probably going to be aligned with what exactly the industry demands in this day and how can we bridge the gap, like as rightly mentioned, for our students, right? How do we explain this, how do we work with this, how do we practically implement these concepts, right? So that's what we're going to see probably towards the end of it. Yeah, thanks Sheetal.
Thank you, Mr. Arif. Now we have the principal from Khalsa College, Dr. Kamaljit Duwal. Ma'am, you can share your few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Distinguished guests, representatives from XLR EduTech Private Limited, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the inauguration of 1 week faculty development program on Agentic AI, MCP, A2A, and Enterprise AI agents, organized by Department of Computer Science, Khalsa College for Women, Civil Lines, Ludhiana, in collaboration with XLR EduTech Private Limited. Khalsa College for Women, affiliated to Punjab University and re-accredited by NAC, has always been committed to the academic excellence, innovation, and women empowerment beyond conventional education. The college continuously strives to equip its stakeholders with the future ready skills through the value added courses, industries, collaborations, internships, training programs, entrepreneurship initiatives, and digital upskilling opportunities. This FTP reflects our commitment to staying at the forefront of the technological advancement. Agentic AI is rapidly transforming the way we work, learn, and innovate. Through sessions on AI, agents model, context protocols, agents A2A, communication, multi-agent systems, and enterprise AI applications, participants will gain valuable insights into the technologies that are shaping the future of the education and industry alike. I extend my sincere appreciation to XLR EduTech Private Limited, our valued industry partner, for supporting our vision of fostering digital literacy and professional excellence through our ongoing collaboration. I encourage all the participants to actively engage in the session, interact with the experts, and make the most of this opportunity. I'm confident that this program will inspire new ideas, strengthen professional competencies, and open new avenues for innovation and research. I wish FDP a grand success and all the participants a rewarding learning experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank all the guests once again for joining in and sharing their inspiring words. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Amar Shivate to walk us through the LMS.
Faculty members, once again, a very good afternoon. So I will take a 5 minutes of your time and I will give you the quick glance on the LMS portal, where you will get to know that how we can join the session on a daily basis, where we'll get the links about the reading material, getting the recordings of the session while learning the program, or separate the program as well in the future if you want to go through the course again. How you can mark your attendance, what are the things important to get a certification. Okay. So LMS is known as a learning management system and it's a Xlar online portal to create content. Whenever you completed your registration, so you received two emails. The first email is LMS portal account details by XLR. In that, you have a portal link. That is nothing but the LMS URL. You have a username, that is your mail address, and a system generated password. Suppose if you are a first time user of XLR EDL initiative, then you receive two emails. If you already registered for any of our previous update program or SDP programs, in that scenario, you will find only one email, that is welcome email for FDP on Agentic. Okay. So why one email? Because you already registered, you already have an account. That's the reason you have only one email. But if you log in with the old credentials, whatever you received previously, you will get this course on the same dashboard. Suppose if you're not remembering what is the password you received previously, or you're not able to find that mail, no need to worry. On the login page, we have an option where we can forward the password. So now I'll click on this link. So what will happen? It will take me through the login page. So let me reshare my screen. I will open my browser. Okay. So yes, after clicking on the mylearning.xlab.com login link or URL, it's landed here on the sign in page. Okay. Or we can say login page as well. Here, I need to provide my login credentials. That is my username, nothing but the email ID and a password which you received as a system generated password. As I said, suppose I not received the login detail email. So in that scenario, what we can do? We can utilize the forward your password option. So here you have that option. Say enter your registered mail ID here. Click on send instructions. Once you click on send instructions, you will get one mail request. You can set a password whatever you want, and then again you come back to the login page. Provide your details, updated password, and you can click on a sign in. So once you provide your details correctly, so it will take you to the dashboard. Okay. So if I'm using the same Google account, I can continue with the Google as well. Okay. Yes. So now here you can check, we have back to homepage option, community option, leaderboard, dashboard, purchase history, help button. And here we have a profile option. So you can check here, profile, visit settings. In a settings, you can set up your entire profile, your name, your username, mobile number. Okay. And the most important thing, that if you want to update the password, so system generated password is a bit lengthy, or it's difficult to keep in mind, or always difficult to keep a copy paste, right? So for that reason, whatever password you want after your first sign in, you can just type it here, confirm that one more time. Once both the passwords are going to be matched, the update password button will be enabled and you can utilize that password from the next time sign in. Okay. Suppose you are here on this page on all product. There are a couple of courses which are credit-based courses under SWAYAM Plus initiative or NOSCOM initiative or AP government initiative that are listed here. But suppose if you are here on this page and if you want to go on a dashboard, the click on a profile, click on a dashboard, and it will take you to the dashboard. Dashboard is something which is an important point here to access all the things. All the things means what? So coming to the first pointer, how we can join the session from the LMS portal. So you can check here, live session today tab is visible here on a dashboard itself. FDP on Agentic AI, MCP, A2A, Enterprise AI Agents, June 8. So this is the day one. I'm clicking on this, right? And once you click on this, you will find the two links. One is a Zoom link, second is a YouTube link. You can join via Zoom or else you can join via YouTube. It's live at both the places. Whatever the queries or question you have, you can keep posting in the chat box of Zoom and live chat of the YouTube. We'll take it forward. Our team will take it forward. And secondary, suppose here there is one more option, the mark as present, but just clicking on this will not mark your presentee. So for presentee, for attendance, for certification, there is a different criteria. So I will explain that. So this is how you can join the session directly clicking on the link via Zoom or YouTube. All right, clear? So now next thing, below a live session today, you can check here on my dashboard. For me, there is one option that on your dashboard you have 141 enrolled courses. This is for me. Suppose if you enrolled this as the first program with us, then 1 enrolled courses. If you attended 5 FDPs in previous 2-3 years, then 5 enrolled courses. All that FDPs will be visible here. Now I will open that my enroll course which is starting today. Okay, and you can check here, you will find the curriculum. Suppose sometimes some faculty members will log in using the mobile as well. Yes, it's mobile responsive too, but if you keep your phone into your desktop mode, that will be the well and good for the visibility purpose. Okay, so first thing which you have to check, that is agenda. In the agenda, you will get to know that, okay, so what is the plan for next 5 days? Actually, what we are going to learn. A day-wise plan agenda is here. Below that, we have attendance and feedback link. So, dear faculty members, this is again an important part of this is FDP, because the first thing, to get the certificate of participation, 60% attendance is mandatory. You have to fill the form every day without fail. Second thing, the link will be active in between 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. That will be for 1 hour only on the same day. Today's link will be closed automatically by 5:30. So make sure that before 5:30 you are submitting the form. Okay. Next thing, if you are unable to access the LMS portal currently, okay, blank. So no need to worry, our team will be sharing the attendance link in the chat box of the Zoom and live chat of the YouTube sharp at 4:30. So you can mark your attendance. And one additional note which I'd like to add from my end, that for all the 5 days, whenever you are going to submit your attendance, make sure that you are utilizing a one single mail ID. What is the reason behind that? Sometimes you will use your college mail ID, second day you will use your personal mail ID, third day you will use your third personal mail ID. So it will create a multiple accounts and it will be a problem to reach the 60% attendance criteria. So for that reason, it's my humble request for all the faculty members, use the single mail ID to fill your attendance or feedback form. This is a common form and every day form will be different and you have to mark that. The form link over the Zoom, YouTube or LMS portal is the same. From any one place, you can mark this form and this program or this form is open for only the faculty members. I hope it's clear about the attendance and feedback. The live session, how you can join the daily live sessions, which I explained. Then session recordings. Yes. So device session record available here itself in the session recording tab. Okay, so if I'm clicking on a day one, you can check the day one currently is going like it will be available. But likewise, day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, all the sessions will be available. And similarly, material as well. Suppose if it's practice files, you can download that. Suppose the PPT or Word, yes, you can view that onto the LMS portal. So that's all about the LMS portal, how you can access these things. If you recently registered and if you not received the LMS access, no need to worry. By tomorrow, you will be getting the access for the same classroom. Okay. And in the future, if any doubts or anything, you can just click on help button here. Okay. And drop the problem, or if any information you are looking for, you can just add it here, click on send query, and we'll get back to you with the solution. Now, one more thing which I missed while I'm explaining about the attendance and feedback. Those who are going to mark their attendance, or those who are going to be with 60 and more than 60% of the attendance with the sessions, they will be receiving their certificate only for all the faculty members. Okay, but it will take 8 to 15 working days after completion of the program. Okay, so please make a note of this. And yes, that's all from my side. Happy learning with Excel. Sheetal, over to you.
Thank you so much, Avar. Now I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Arif.
Thank you, Sheetal. Just need a minute and I think we'll start. Okay, all right. Thanks, Sheetal. A very good afternoon again to all of you. Hope you all can hear me. Yeah, so
You're audible.
yeah, just trying to share my screen. Okay, hope my screen is also visible. Confirmation yes. All right, so
So your screen is not visible.
not yet. Okay.
No. Can you just try resharing?
Okay, perfect. I think now it should be. So I've put up a presentation starting with Agentic AI. Okay. Yes. Okay, turning on my camera as well. That's visible. Okay. So that was for the setup. Thank you all. Thanks for your patience. Okay. Great. So first of all, a pleasure. Thanks to the XLR team, right, for this great initiative with a lot of other colleges also hosting and co-hosting along with the XLR team. So representing as part of the XLR team, right? So my name is Arab Nawal. I will be your SME for this particular FDP on Agentic AI. Yeah, so over the next 4.5, 5 days, right? So we will be connecting for this 2 hour duration each, and we will actually see how we could implement the concepts of AI agents, agentic AI, and how is it different from maybe generative AI? And towards the end, we'll be closing it with an implementation of MCP. What is agent to agent communication? And how can we use AI agents at a enterprise level? Right, so that's what we'll be looking at. Okay. So how do companies, how do organizations actually use this? Now, I think you did have a brief introduction about me, thanks to Sheetal, right, earlier in the session. Yeah. Okay. So, any questions before we start? I hope everyone is now set so that we can continue with our technical content. Right. So, a brief heads up. Expectation from the participants will be preferred to join using a laptop. It's if you are looking to simultaneously probably try and code wherever required. So there will be some amount of coding. And since we are dealing with agents, we'll also have a look of about how to do no code platform implementations as well. So there'll be a couple of demos for that as well. So these are the things we'll keep this in mind because we are thinking at an enterprise AI agent level and most of the things here, right? So we'll try to implement practically, right? So initially there will be a little bit of theory plus practical. That's the blend that I will be using in the session, right? So do expect conceptual understandings as well as practical and coding implementations as well throughout the session. Sounds good? Recordings can be downloaded, which will be received. So Rajat, I think it should be available on the portal, LMS portal. I'm not too sure about the downloading part, but you should be able to access the recordings. Okay. All right. Right. Now, starting off with AI agents and agentic AI, right? So coming with the agenda for the day. Right. Today is going to be more of a introduction. Right. Today is going to be more of a familiarity with the entire AI landscape is what we're going to understand. So we'll start from the concept of tokens. Right. So we'll start with LLMs. What are tokens? What are the available models, right, within a token, right? What are the token and the token limits, right? What is that exactly is a context window? So a little bit of intro to that LLM space, right? Further, we'll see what are the different options and types of LLMs available in the market, and also what is the difference between Gen AI agents, agentic AI? Why did we need that transformation or the flow from an LLM, from Gen AI to agentic AI? And how is it better? What are its advantages? What are the components? Right? All of that we'll see. Towards the end, we will see how we can do certain API calls, right? What are some of the frameworks which are available for LLM orchestration, for agent orchestration, right? How we can use agents and what are the available frameworks with us. Okay. So those are the things that we'll be touching up today. Yeah, we'll probably be doing a simple LLM invoke call as well towards the end so that you get a little flavor about how we would be coding in the next few sessions. Okay, now that sounds good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take the AI landscape through a brief intro from what is AI, how did we eventually reach this LLM and agents and Gen AI part. Yeah. Originally, we were having artificial intelligence coming in from the scope of machine learning, from the scope of NLP, from the scope of a lot of other things like vision and intelligence and AI. Now, when you look at this, right, what exactly is AI? Yeah, what's AI? Can we explain AI as making machines think like humans, trying to make them think as humans? That's one way to define it. Also, you can mimic human intelligence. That's one more thing. So I take AI, right? I want to make machines think like humans. I want to make machines do the work that I am going to do. right? Sort of in that direction we were heading when we speak about AI. Now, what is it that makes AI different from us? And it needs to be taught. Yeah. How do we teach it? We teach it by giving data, right? By giving it examples, by giving it learnings, by training models. Yeah. And there are various levels to it. So I've added a proper landscape as to how do we eventually reach this. Okay. Now the reason for this slide is, right, you might be maybe you will see a lot of sessions wherein you will see a lot of content wherein you directly have a deep dive into agentic AI, right? But the main thing is, how did we eventually reach this stuff? Why are we speaking so much about agentic AI and AI agent? Why are we even doing that? That is one thing that most of us don't understand. Yeah. So trying to bridge that gap, that knowledge for us, right? So which is why we just try to take the entire AI landscape. Okay. Now, in terms of the AI landscape, the first thing that we have here is what is AI? Okay. This we just discussed, making machines think like humans. Now, within the AI landscape, right? So we sort of have a couple of categories or subcategories that we could put. So within AI, right, I am going to categorize it into 1, 2, and 3 major things. Okay. So we look at 3 major categories within AI. First option being machine learning. First option being machine learning. Second option being vision, computer vision. And the third option being natural language processing. Yeah. So if anyone has already had some idea about AI and the things that it can do, right? So you might be seeing these 3 things as primary uh, domains within the AI landscape. Okay. Now, what exactly is machine learning? Right, subset of AI which enables computer to learn from experience. Okay. Now, any kind of numbers that you have, it's going to get fed into a machine learning model. Now, what are the types of data available? That is one more very important thing. So in terms of data, I have numbers, I have text, yeah, I have text, I have numbers. What else? Images, audios, videos. So totally around 5 different types. Those 5 different types gets classified somewhere within this. It needs to go within this. So mostly numbers are going to go here. We speak about natural language and text audio going in here. We speak about images and videos going into the computer vision part. Okay. Okay, we have a couple of them who have raised their hands. Any questions? Feel free to always add it in the chat. Yeah. If you were expecting an answer here, it'll be easier to read the chat. And once later, after I finish speaking in between topics, yes, definitely we can take a few questions towards the end of the session. We can dedicate about a few minutes for only question answering, right? So we can do that. But anything that you're looking at an instant, feel free to add it in the chat, right? So there are a lot of us, might not be necessary that only the trainer has to answer, right? So you might get the answers from your fellow participants as well. Yeah. So feel free to add that here. Right? Okay. Yeah. Koteshwar Rao has a question. Yes, sir. Would you like to add something? Okay. Okay. Hoping this point is clear. With the entire landscape, you have 3 major categories: machine learning, computer vision, natural language processing. Okay. Now, once you have this, within AI, you have ML. Now, where exactly did we reach? How did we reach generative AI? Is within machine learning, we're looking at another subcategory, which is deep learning. Okay, deep learning is that subset of ML which uses neural networks. Yeah, just like how we have neurons within our body, right? So you have artificial neurons which are available that we use in deep learning. So it's a subset of ML, uses neural networks, helps us to process data. Okay. Now, further linking with deep learning as well as NLP technologies, right? So we have a new segment introduced probably just a few years ago, right? A new categorization or a new subset within deep learning, which is generative AI. So until now, we never had any kind of data generation. Correct? We were always looking at the data that was already existing, that we were building, that we were teaching, training, right? Of this sort. So this is sort of revolutionary in terms of its capabilities, given that it could generate content. Now that's massive, right? This is what happened about 4 5 years ago when we had the first LLM model released in GPT 3.5 from OpenAI ChatGPT. Correct. So it started creating content. Now earlier content creation was only what? Based on text. So I give a prompt, I give some input, based on the text, it would generate some output to me. Correct. But recent times, right? Recent times, what do we have? Right? Don't take 4 years ago. Right? So take a little recently. Right? We have generation of all sorts. Right? We have a prompt that I can give, and from that I could obtain text, images, audio, video. Right? I could probably get some flow. I could probably get any of the files created. Yeah? That is where we ended up. Okay, so I'm sure this landscape was helpful. Right now, you've got a complete point as to where we are reaching and what exactly is the scenario, what comes under what, and how are these terms related. Now, for a generative AI, right, so there is one more common term that we'll be coming across. There's something called LLM that we'll be dealing with. LLMs, and this term will be used quite often. Yeah. In some time, we will be dealing with a term called a foundational model, right, or a base model. Yeah. But yeah, commonly used term LLMs. So just summarizing, AI, anything wherein we expect machines to think like humans. Machine learning, subfield of AI, right? This is mostly mathematical, or what do you say, statistical based implementation. When you take machine learning, now when you take deep learning, right, it is a subset of ML using neural networks. When you take generative AI, the focus is on creating new content. What's a foundational model then? Right, all of these are ML based model or probably deep learning based models. Yeah, we have massive amounts of unlabeled data. Yeah, a foundational model will have massive amounts of data, such that it learns, it understands, and further you can be utilizing that to ask questions. Okay, that's a foundational model. Now, what is a LLM? Right, a type of foundational model designed to understand and generate human language. So anywhere where you have interactions and text based on human language, an LLM will be used. This is how a neural network looks like. So just in case anyone has got any confusions or no idea about this, this is how it looks like. Right? I'm sure some of you might have seen this, might have been teaching it also, since we have all of these things commonly. Now, in terms of a deep learning model, right? So we have networks like this. We have neurons and artificial neurons in multiple layers. So there is an input layer. There are hidden layers. Also, there is an output layer which is available. Okay, this is a deep neural network. Okay, this is how a deep neural network looks like. Now, Before we get into LLMs and Gen AI and AI and AI agents, right? So we first need to understand how is the AI life cycle and the development process. Any idea? What is the general flow like? So I speak about AI. What exactly do I do with AI? What do I use it for? Right. So that is mentioned here in the development process. What do I use AI for? First thing, I identify what is the problem. Right. So we've seen a lot of companies, we've seen a lot of requirements coming in, which say, okay, we want our organization to be AI enabled. Yeah. Now, if you ask them the question, why? Right, many of them don't have an answer, right? Which is why I said this is very important because we first need to understand why we do this, why we are learning this. So a lot of them do not have the understanding, yeah, as to why we need it. Right? One thing is for sure, right? So it needs to be reducing human work. Okay, that makes sense. Speed, accuracy, yes. At an enterprise level, yep. Speed, accuracy, right? It could be to make our job easier. It could be to avoid having to spend so much of energy and time on a particular problem. AI can do it faster. Okay, that perfectly makes sense. Yep. How are we going to implement it? That's one question. Yep. For that, we actually need to understand how things work. Efficiency, okay. Now, cost, yes. Right? You might ask AI to do the job of what 10 people could do. Right? But there is a issue with this. Right? If you've been updated with the latest tech news, right? It's not necessary that every single time you have AI or your AI based codes helping you, and it's not necessary that it performs better than what a human could do. It does in most of the cases, but in some cases it can fail. Right? Why does it fail? How does it fail? That is completely based on the requirements. So the most important thing here is identification of the problem. So you know what problem you have, then you can use AI to solve it. Right? You can't just be expecting that the entire workforce should be AI enabled and should be able to implement the entire automation or whatever work. Yeah. First, you need to know where exactly is the problem. What exactly is the requirement? That's one main thing. Based on that, you prepare data. Now, coming to the general AI lifecycle, not necessarily a agentic AI or a Gen AI based lifecycle. Coming to a general AI development lifecycle or AI development process, you identify the problem, you prepare data, you process it, right? Now, if you're building a machine learning or a deep learning model, right? So you'll probably select the model, set the model, apply on this data, build a machine learning model, okay, or a deep learning model. Then you see how good that model is, you deploy it somewhere to see it's working and ultimately keep a monitoring and maintenance performance on top of it. Yeah. So identify problem, get the data, process it, clean it, transform it, visualize it, do all of that, build a model around it according to the requirement, according to the problem statement. Once the model is ready and presented, evaluate it, see how good it works, deploy it. Once it is ready, deploy it, check for its maintenance, do the monitoring. Okay. Now, this was the entire AI lifecycle. Yeah. Hoping until this it's clear. This introduction was necessary for us to just get context and connect. Yeah, these are some of the fundamental things that we are supposed to know. Okay. Fine. I see no problems there. Can I quickly get a thumbs up in the chat from all of you? I'd suggest so that we are clear before we proceed. Okay, got a few then. All right, now starting with our actual content. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now starting with our actual content, right? So earlier was the introduction part. Now coming to what we speak about GenAI, what we speak about LLMs, and a little bit more in terms of tokens, context windows, the types of LLMs, right? So we'll do that. Okay. So when we speak about generative AI, what happens? It's a subset of AI. Gen AI is a subset of AI which creates new content. Do you know any question that you ask to any kind of an LLM model? Right? It's always original, it's always new. Yeah. Why does that happen? Because you're not asking question to what do you say, a search engine. You're asking questions to a model, to a foundational model, right? On which thousands and thousands of questions and answers and data, right? Lakhs of data has been trained. Okay. Now, Gen AI involves training and deploying AI models such that you can get text, which is original yet generated. You can get images, videos, audios, everything. Yeah. So just by using AI, you can get all of these things. Okay. Now, what are the modalities which are available? And we did discuss a little bit about this, but not specifically with this term. So text to text, some of the examples of the providers for these kind of GenAI capabilities: ChatGPT, Anthropic, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. Okay. Now, if you wanted image generation, if you wanted image generation, you're looking at DALI, you have Midjourney, Nano Banana, Leonardo, and a lot of other specific similar text to image capabilities. About text to audio, there is Refusion 11 Labs, there's Music LM, there's podcast generation capabilities. Yeah. So if you look at text to video generation, right? So what are the models? So Sora is one example. Let's say you have Firefly, which can do that. You have Runway ML. Google has got Google's Veo as some of the tools. Okay. Now these are some of the available tools within these modalities. Now coming to the modalities, unimodal stands for text to image, right? So probably your output is just one thing. You just get text or you just get images. Yeah. You give an input, you just get text, or you give an input, you just get images. That's generally a unimodal, wherein you have text to image, text to text, image to text, or image to image. The moment you go into a multimodal capability, you can give anything as input. It's not just a text based prompt that can go as an input, right? And your output can also be anything from the question that you have asked. Right? So multimodal capabilities can be any to any. So from text, it can be text. From image, it can be a video. From audio, it can be a text. From video, it can be a image. Any of those things that you could do. Okay. But the most common thing that you will see here is no matter what is the input, there will always be a prompt written to it. Yeah. There'll always be some sort of a text written along with it, because if I take an image, it's not automatically explainable. So I need to write a prompt for that image, and then I can just go ahead and process it. Okay. Now, coming to the topic of interest, what is an LLM, right? So from here, we'll have a deep dive. So until now, it was all just a overview. Okay, all of these things. From here, a little bit more of a deep dive. Okay, first question. What is LLM? LLM stands for large language model. Okay. Now, in AI, LLM stands for large language model, right? But then there is something else, which is like a SLM also. What exactly is a SLM? What is a LLM? Correct? This is something that you might have heard. We need to know about both of this. Okay. Both are types of generative AI. Yeah. SLM, as the word says, stands for small language models. Yeah. And on the screen that you can see that we have something which says LLM versus generative AI. We know this part. We know the right hand side. What does Gen AI do? We know the right hand side part. What does generative AI do? Generative AI just says any AI which can create new content, original new data. LLMs is the AI model behind this functions of Gen AI. So if I want to create new content, I need an LLM. I cannot just do without an LLM. Okay. Now SLMs are what? Lightweight, optimized, specialist models, you can say. So what happens in a SLM? What are its major features as such? It's compact, right? The number of parameters that the model has been trained is quite less. But you take LLM, it is massive, hundreds of billions of parameters. So here the data for a large language model, it's trained on massive data sets. SLM might be a smaller set of data set. Okay. Now, in order to train or build a LLM, the hardware requirement is quite huge. It requires massive cloud infrastructure and it also needs some powerful GPUs. On the other hand, when you take a SLM, it is lightweight. Yeah, SLMs are simple, lightweight, low cost. Yeah, but it is restrictive. LLMs has a higher scope, higher cost. Okay, hardware requirements are more. BPT, yes, you will be getting all of the references on the LMS portal. Okay, post the session. All right. Now coming to an LLM, the AI models behind the functions. What exactly happens? How do you split this term LLM? Large language model. Right? Large is massive amount of data. Language is where it deals with human language, linguistics. Model is the ML model or the AI model, right? Any of those artificial intelligent models. Okay. These are the three things that explains an LLM. Massive amounts of data, working or dealing with human language, relying on a AI model. Okay. Now further, when we look at an LLM, what is its job? And we know Gen AI means helps us to create content. Right? How is that different from LLM? Little bit we saw. These are systems which will generate the language or text. Right? These are the engines which power generative AI. So generative AI can just be a technology. LLM can be a engine or a system within the Gen AI technology. Okay. LLMs can understand and respond to questions with natural language. Okay. All right. Further, working wise, right? A little bit of few technical terms. How did LLM come into picture? Yeah. Have you heard about anything called as encoder decoder capability? See, there are four things that you need to know. We saw this slide, right? Yeah, this one. AI, ML, DL, Gen AI. Yeah. In between, I also said a very important role is played by NLP, natural language processing, a branch or a domain of AI. Yeah. So within that NLP space, right? So we have a model called as a transformer-based model. Okay. It is also linked with deep learning. So it's a foundational deep learning architecture model. Yeah. So a transformer is something which is like a type of neural network model. Yeah. Now, these neural network models, they excel at processing sequential kind of data. So any kind of data which is sequential, which is generally what we get with the large language model. Right. So there for processing, we have a transformer. Now, transformer is a family of this neural networks which is there. Okay. Now, what are the concepts that it uses? It uses a concept of encoder, decoder, and within this encoder, decoder, right, along with that, in fact, there is also some capabilities called as attention capabilities. Right. I'll give you an example about what this self-attention capability does. Yeah. This transformer architecture, for it, self-attention, there is this mechanism, okay, called self-attention. This will allow the model that it will look at the entire sentence. Looking at the sentence, it will calculate the relationships and it will say which word is most important to the context. Okay. So that's how the architecture of a self-attention mechanism works. Self-attention mechanism allows model to look at the entire sentence and quickly calculate the relationship, determine which words are most important to the context. Okay. Now this is what is self-attention. So when you take this encoder and decoder capability, has anyone here heard about the research paper in 2017 called Attention is All You Need? A paper which explains pretty much everything about transformers, a research paper for this. No, yes, okay, just a couple of yeses. So what I would do here is I will provide you the link with that. It is available. It's a research paper available for free. Yeah. In fact, later we will see based on this exact same paper, right? We'll try to build a model, in fact, to explain that paper. Now, see, this is one of our requirements that we'll have, right? About the attention and the attention mechanism. Right? So I'll just show you that paper for a few seconds now. You can't be reading it completely just yet. Sharing the link with you here. Yeah. I think you can refer to any of the links there. You can have a look. You can have a go through. Right? It is released pretty much by Google, right? Because a lot of their authors are from Google and Google Brain, right? With Google Research as well, right? Wherein they have published related to the entire attention mechanism and the encoder decoder stacks. So if you can just see here, so there is an encoder stack, there is an encoder layer, right, as well as a decoder layer. So input embedding, whatever is the data, right, whatever is the feed forward network, multi-head attention mechanism, all of that is mentioned here. So there is a encoder, there is a decoder. Okay. And in terms of in terms of attention, they've given all of the specifications, all of the details in here. So consider that, okay, not understanding too many things within this, cause it's a little technical with all of the frameworks and everything mentioned, no problem. Right. So you can always get a summarized version of this. This is about 11 pages. Yes, with all of the references. So what we'll do later in the next few sessions is take this paper, right, try to analyze it, try to understand it. Yeah. Okay. So that's attention is all you need paper, right? It is explaining the entire architecture and the model. Okay. Now within this, there's something called as a encoder decoder transformation or encoder decoder architecture. So the original transformer, right? Original transformer generally consists of a encoder. Encoder is going to take the data, process the input, decoder will generate the output. Okay. Now there are a lot of models based on this architecture, encoder decoder architecture. Have you all heard about BERT? BERT? Anyone heard about BERT? A BERT model? Yeah. Okay. If yes, what does BERT do? Or who uses it? BERT. 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 Okay, a bidirectional encoder. What does BERT do? Text manipulation, supply chain. Okay. Okay, NLP processing, summarizing text, transform or extract sequence text of the image. All right. We've got some questions. We've got some responses in here as to what is BERT, right? I think many of you know about this, many of you don't know. So what it does is, it is something which is a model developed by Google. Okay. Now they take in words for analyzing and understanding. Okay. Based on what? Based on natural language, whatever we humans speak. Based on this natural language, right? It uses these words, it uses these sentences to understand what are the nuances in the natural language. Yep. Okay, yeah. Full form wise, it is called bidirectional encoder representations from transforms. So I think someone had mentioned about it, but partially. Bidirectional encoder representation. Oh, okay, please ignore the typo there. But yeah, this is what we have in terms of BERT. Now, BERT is a model which works based on what? It's a encoder only model. Yeah, like you say, yeah, it understands the meaning of the text. It does encoding only when you take a encoder. It processes the input. So anywhere where you have processing of input, anywhere where you have understanding the meaning of a text, classification based task, right? All of those things, then you can use a BERT model. Then there is a decoder only model. Now these are more of what we are looking at right now, right? Why? For our LLMs, for our agents and everything, we use these kind of models. So the modern generative AI works on a decoder based model, which is the backbone of modern Gen AI. So it'll predict the next word, it will generate text, or it will give you responses based on a conversation. Okay. So a decoder only model. GPT is a decoder only model. Llama is a decoder only model. Yeah. BERT is an encoder only model. Yeah. Then there are models which are like encoder plus decoder as well, which will give you both of the tasks. Right. So there is a model like, so I'll just put it here. So encoder, we have BERT. Okay. Decoder, we have Llama as well as GPT. Okay. Now, if you look at encoder decoder, right, so then in that case, you can just see that I'm looking at T5. Okay. T5 is another model which is there based on this transformer. So the thing here is text to text transfer transformer. So all of these are transformer types. Now, this is also by Google. It's an encoder decoder model which will give you all the NLP tasks: translation, summarization, classification, everything. Okay. Is there any compatibility requirements between encoders and decoders? No. Whatever an encoder does, only that will be able to do the encoding. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Shivajyoti, I think yes, is given, right? But, and an example for that is also given. Okay. Any compatibility requirements between encoders and decoders? I wouldn't say anything necessary, Akrama. Okay. Because right now you see we have the entire models pretty much like based on decoders only. So it's okay. Unnecessary any other compatibility requirements as such. Okay, all right. Attendance link. Attendance link, yes, will be shared. Wait, Sheetal or Sushmita, anyone from the XLR team? How are we dealing with the attendance? How is it captured? Is there a manual entry form? Yeah, I think it opens a little later. There is a portal or there is a form link, right? That will be shared. That's what was informed. Okay. From 4:30. Yeah, almost there. Yeah, a Google form around 4:30 will be shared to you all. Great. Okay. Now see, coming back to this paper, I just wanted to show you that it was all based on this paper and all of the findings from this about attention, encoder, decoder that we started with the GPT and the LLMs and everything. Yeah. So further what we'll do is next when we're actually building the agent in tomorrow's session onwards. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll actually take this paper, the same exact paper. We will take this and now see, we did not go through or understand the entire capabilities of the paper, right? What would be a easier way to understand that? Maybe taking that entire PDF, asking questions from the PDF via an LLM would be better. Yeah. So we have some systems that we can build. And I have a file, I'll upload it, you process it, you give me a solution wherein I ask a question based on that. Yeah. That is why we need AI, right? That is why we need all of these agents that we could build. So we'll build a agent based on this, where it can take a PDF. For example, this research paper, we ask questions based on it, it will give you the responses. Okay. Hope you understood how LLM works now. Encoder, decoder, that architecture from the transformers. From there, you get the LLM. Now, any kind of question that you ask to an LLM, any task you have, it will give you the responses. Like task can be answering questions, writing essays, summarizing, translating. Yeah, it will give you the answers. Now, for all of these things, LLM uses the models. Yeah, a Gen AI foundational model. So steps are also given. If I have an LLM, if I ask some question, how will it respond? It will take the user text. It will break that down internally into tokens. The processing of tokens will happen through multiple transformer layers. It uses deep learning. It uses self-attention mechanism, feed-forward networks. Now, once the processing is done, yeah, when the processing is done, you're actually having like output generation and whatever tokens you had tokenized, whatever data you had maybe like broken into words, it is combined back into a sentence to give you the final answer. So the idea is you ask some question, it will take that question, process it internally, convert into numbers according to a format that the computer understands. Yes, it will do all of the processing, then give you back the data as proper sentences, and you will get that response however you want, wherever you want, you can use those capabilities. Make sense? So now this step of asking question, getting back an answer, what is it called? You ask a question, you get back an answer. What do you call that? So in LLM, there is something called LLM invoke. You invoke an LLM. You ask questions to it. Okay. Coming to the types, we are looking at two different types of LLMs. Please look at the examples below. Are you familiar or have you heard about all of these examples now? There are closed source type of LLMs. There are open source type of LLMs. What's a closed source LLM? And so the ones that you see on right, the paid ones, the ones that you need to pay to in access. If at all you want to access and build something, you have to pay for it. Okay. Now the other set on the left is the free and open source ones. NVIDIA, Meta, which has Llama, something like a Quen, something like a Hugging Face, a Mistral AI, right? All of these things are open source. Okay. Now, what is the difference between open source and closed source? Free to use, not free to use. Right? We're just having that. Okay. Open source is one thing, closed source is one thing. Now, if at all you're a beginner, you're learning certain things. Yeah. Closed source might not be the easiest option to go because it'll be paid. Right? Enterprise level mostly we'll be using the closed source LLMs. Okay. Now for enterprise AI agents, it's most of the times, so you would be preferring you'll be using a closed source element. Closed is paid most of the times. Open is free to use. You can change, you can mix and match, you can make a couple of changes with those open source LLMs. Right. So there's just a list of the entire LLM ecosystem. Yeah, examples, paid ones. Right, look at this. Let's just go here, copy AI, Jasper AI. Yeah, just have a look at the entire models ecosystem. What are the LLMs available from each of the providers? Okay, now that this is done, let's say you can just see these are a list of models all coming under open source and closed source LLMs. Okay, fine. Next thing is with regards to what are tokens? What are the words? How does it process? And if I give a basic prompt in an LLM, how does it invoke? Yeah. So if I ask a question, right, if I ask a question to any of the LLM, right, what is generative AI or what is agentic AI? If I ask a question, it consumes some tokens. You all know that. It's not free. It consumes tokens, right? We have to pay for it after a certain point of time. Yeah. What exactly happens in that? In LLMs, your words are split into tokens. Any word, right? Maybe there is a word here which says punctuation. And so now this punctuation word is also supposed to be done what? It will be split or it will be split into tokens, right? And I'll just show you real quick as to how tokens are shown here. Tokenization, right? OpenAI has got their tokenizer example, right? They've also given certain instructions as to what are tokens, how do we count those tokens, right? So we'll just see that. Okay, one is the OpenAI app, one more is tokens, right? Now, on the slide that we just saw, tokens are fragments of language. It could be a whole word, it could be half a word, it could be a part of word, punctuation marks also. So what is the goal of an LLM? It's not just to give you output or predict or generate the next token. But the role of an LLM is to create a rich, multi-dimensional space, right, where each token has its place based on the meaning, based on the context correctly. Okay. Now, in terms of a token, you have a sample text. See here. Any word that you have, one token, almost 4 characters. 100 tokens, 75 words. Yep. So the idea here is in terms of the pricing that is going to be that. Generally, we have 1 million tokens. Yep. 1 million tokens. Right. And then it's just going to cost you a fraction. All of the pricings are generally shown as 1 million or 2 million tokens. Getting it? Now, see your examples. 1 token, 4 characters. So probably if I'm looking at this, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 words, right? For 11 words, right? How many pretty much the tokens can be there? Yeah, according to that, we can multiply it and see. So 100 tokens, 75 words. Okay. So 11 words, maybe about 20, 22 tokens might just be generated for this. Okay. Now, in terms of how it calculates the tokens, right? So we'll see this here. So if I ask a question, yeah, I'm adding some example text. One moment. Yeah, encoding means tokenization, decoding means de-tokenization. Yeah, sort of. You can explain it in that way. Okay, yeah, the attendance, the feedback form is also shared in the chat. Feel free to add that. Okay. Now you see, I'm taking certain example here, and then I'm just saying that for this example, these are the tokens, these are the number of characters. Okay, now you understood what tokens can do. See, in terms of pricing and in terms of cost, right? So we'll come to that discussion. But what exactly it does? So if I have this word, yeah, in this word characters, they've taken one entire word as one token, right? Somewhere else it might just be taken like, see here, in this. This is also a full sentence. Anywhere where it is split. Now here nowhere it is split, but in some places, yeah, like this. This is now split into 2, 3 tokens actually. Okay, so you can split your data into tokens. Now, how do you get these tokens? You have a proper programming interface. Okay, hope this is clear. Tokenization is clear. What are tokens are clear? See here, it's also mentioned. So I have a question, right? It will split the sentence into a text, or it will split that into words like thing for a tokens. Okay. Now, very important thing. I came to this documentation. I think it's a good reference for you all to have. The same thing is there in the slides. So very important thing is every token will have some limit. I think this we all know. Pricing, we all have a limit for our AI based usage pricing. So there'll be a token limit. Yeah, okay. Now when you take the pricing, every model will have its own pricing. Every model will have its own limit for every pricing. Yeah. So there'll be practically some sort of limits, maybe 1 million tokens, maybe 5 million tokens, maybe 10 million tokens. Okay. Now model to model, the token pricing changes. So if you exceed that limit, you have to refine your prompt, right? Like some of them had, someone had already mentioned here, saying that precise and clear prompt to be given by keeping tokens in mind. Okay. So you keep the tokens in mind. Based on that, your limits and everything will be there. Yeah, usage happens. And based on that, it is charged. Okay. Okay, now moving further to the next thing that we are supposed to discuss. Now we saw the tokenizer, we saw the tokens. Okay, in terms of token, these are fragments of language. It can pass whole words, part of words, punctuation marks. Sample text looks like this after the tokenization. Okay, now let me go next. So if at all I just take this token, I think the same slide we had seen. So you have some tokens, you can tokenize the text, you create the embeddings, and it will give you the answer to capture the. So that's the entire flow which is there. Now quickly we'll just see one more thing based on what is a context window. Anybody heard about a context window? See, one more thing. Where do we use all of these things? See, I go to a LLM website, right? So this can be a Gemini.com, it can be a ChatGPT.com. I go there, I ask a question. Ask a question to the AI. Okay. Now this question needs to be asked within a particular given limit, or what happens if it is outside of the limit, you will reach your tokens. Now there is one more thing which is based on a context window. Yeah. What is a context window right now? I think you will understand it better in the next slide. Right. So just see this. Tokens are there. See, I ask a question to the user. Right, so it gives me this much answer. I take that conversation. And look at this. It is now considering this thing. So there is a limit now. If you see below, it says 0 tokens, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. And if you see here, it says context window 1 million for 200k tokens. So it takes certain limits like 1 million tokens, and it says that okay, it's going to charge you $0.02. Okay. So accordingly, your pricing will also keep changing. Okay. Now, this was the first turn of the conversation. So it did not have too much of data. It did not have too much of context in the conversation. The second turn, that previous data with this new data and a new output is also there. Right. So what happens in the turn 3? Yeah. Now in the turn 3, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 messages which were there. And look at this. I have a user message, text message, again user message, again text message, again user message, and then this time the text message is right. So you're just having that truncated text message output. And it's cut off abruptly. Yeah, hope this is clear with the context window. Context window, limit of tokens to consider at a single point, like pitch patch window in a image. 40 tokens, 50 tokens, like that. Okay, yeah. Please scroll up for the attendance. Sorry, I was on mute. My bad. I was speaking. You could hear me until the end of this context window part, right? From this, you don't know. Okay. Okay. My bad. Yeah. So speaking about prompt engineering, right? We could serve all of the context window, the tokens, the token limit, the pricing, and everything by using effective prompting techniques. So if I write prompt in a best way, I get the best results. So my prompt should be very effective, very what do you say, accurate, such that it follows a particular criteria, and based on that, the results are also going to be good. Okay. So any answer that you get after asking 10 questions and any answer that you get after asking 1 or 2 questions. So obviously the 1 or 2 questions afterwards, if you get a best answer, it is because of your good prompting technique. So there are various prompting techniques or types of prompts that you can type. Best is you define certain aspects of a prompt: task, context, persona, format, tone. 5 major things for you to write a prompt. Now, this is one thing that you need to focus on, because for our agent creation also, for our agent building as well, yeah, we ask the question, right? Perform this, correct? So what does an agent do? Right? We have not yet come to that part, right? We'll come to that. Agent is going to do the work for us. Yes. Even that, we should know what question to ask. So our English that we give to the prompt should be very apt. Prompt is the input that user gives to the model. It should be clear. Yes. The clearer it is, the better your responses are, the less tokens it might be using. Because if it is not clear, you reiterate, you ask 5 different questions to end up in the same answer, wherein you could do all of that in just 1 or 2 questions. Yeah. That is the way how you write a effective prompt. You write everything together. Yeah. You don't have to do it 10 times. You write that. But in terms of the context window, right, we have to keep in mind that the context window can anytime be bypassed. So our limits should be there. 1 million tokens or 2 million tokens, whatever is that limit should be there. Have you ever seen this where I think this mostly happens if you have not logged in, like go to Copilot or go to ChatGPT and you don't log in, you ask certain questions, it will respond to you for 2-3 questions. After that, what does it say? Limit reached, please sign in to continue or start a new conversation. Have you seen that? Yes. And earlier it used to happen a lot. Now it is reduced a little bit. Yes, it used to happen a lot earlier. Why? That was because it was reaching the context window. Current conversation, only a particular amount of tokens and words and sentences used to be displayed. After that, it says, no, you have reached this in the free limit. Please log in. Once you log in your new chat, it gives you a slightly more context window. And now this is reduced. Why it is reduced? Because our models that are coming now, latest ones, are having a much higher context window limit. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million is also the token limit that it is having. Correct? No, it's not only for the output tokens, it is your input, your response also. Everything, the entire conversation comes within the context window. Okay. So once you reach 1 million as the tokens in the entire conversation, right, it cannot respond further because that current model will have only that as the limit. It's a very important thing to know. Okay. Fine. I hope you understood all of these things. Yes, Shivajyoti. In terms of the prompt formula, you describe what your AI should do. You give context, you give the background, you specify the AI's role, you mention what is the expected output format, and then finally the tone. Act as this, do this, this is the style, this is the sentiment, those things you could mention. Okay. Yeah, competition among multiple players could be a reason for increased better models, more capability, more limit. Yes, all of that. Yes. Earlier, all of that was very limited. Even the people who have created those models also, they were relatively new to that space. Now everyone knows what exactly is the reason. We'll go in depth as to what every model is describing, how we can build all of the agents by using these models, what are the parameters to consider also, we'll see in the next sessions. Okay. All right. So the entire generative AI aspect is now clear. All the important things. See, we did not have a direct deep dive into building and creating AI agents or agentic AI. It's not possible. Right? Because then whatever we did for the last 1 hour, 1.5 hour here, right? So that will be a complete miss, and further it will create a lot of confusion, which is why we did not go directly into agentic AI. Yep. From now, yes, we are going to go into this specific things. Yep. So today we'll just see what is agentic AI, what is the difference between Gen AI and agentic AI. Now I think all of you have understood what is Gen AI. Even if someone didn't know, by now you should have been clear in the last 1 hour that you have heard of. Yeah, what is generative AI? We know it is creating new content. That is clear. We need to give a prompt. That is also clear. Yeah. It can generate image, text, audio, video. That is also clear. Yeah. This is what Gen AI does in simple terms. What does agentic AI do? What does agentic AI do? Does it create new content? You can say yes, it can do that. But what extra does it do other than what Gen AI models could do? Like here, you should take LLM versus agent. From now on, that is our comparison. Okay, LLM without any extra capabilities, just asking questions, giving responses, versus agent where you're asking it to do some work. Right. So I'll just go to yes, it acts on it. I'll just go to the website there directly. Right. It could be any LLM there. Doesn't matter. Right? It could be a Claude, it could be a Chat GPT, Gemini, anything. So if I go into any of these LLMs, okay, if I go into any of these LLMs, what is the thing that you do? Decision making. If you ask an LLM, it cannot do that. Yeah, I'm asking a question right now to this model. Yeah, for example, set up a meeting for me. Can you do that? On June 10 p.m. See, it says I can help draft the details, but I can't directly create calendar events or send invitations. If I have an agent here, it can do that also. Execution. So LLM just gives you responses. It cannot do anything more. Yeah. Instead, when you have a agent, it can help you do that task also. It can help you execute. So what is the task? How to act on it? What is the decision to do? Everything. So this only give you a details. Okay. That's one simple difference which is there between LLM and a model. Okay. Now coming back here, Gen AI, right? So it creates new content. Agentic AI achieves goals, right? It can do things automatically. Agentic AI can do things automatically. Yeah. It will take the action. It is goal oriented. It can solve your problems. Now, what exactly is the definition? Intelligent systems designed to autonomously set goals, plans, and execute. The steps can be of multiple workflows. It will solve complex problems and very less human intervention. Yeah. So AI can set goals, AI can plan, AI can execute tasks. Very less or minimal human intervention is required there. Okay. You ask a question, it will do the work and give it to you. That is what agentic AI does. Yeah, Claude can send an email on your behalf using widgets if you connect widgets to it. Yeah. Like example, you go to a Claude code. I think that also does everything. And so there are so many tools that if you connect some things, you ask it to do some work, it will do the job for you. Okay. Yeah. So up to this, I think for the day, we will be stopping with. Right. We'll discuss and explore more about agentic AI and the workflows, right, in tomorrow's session. Right. So I'll just tell you what we'll do here. We'll speak about framework tomorrow called as LangChain. Okay. Then we'll speak about a RAG-based agent, a simplest agent initially, right? So then we will be speaking about all of the components, RAG components, and creating a RAG-based agent, right? So this is what we'll pretty much be covering. So it's going to be more of a hands-on example, right? Theory-wise, we have discussed enough. We'll take a little bit of AI agent and agentic AI concept, a little bit of theory early tomorrow. And after that, we will go into practical implementations. Yeah. Like how to do a LLM call or an LLM invoke is what we'll see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Regarding requests for presentations, this will be given to you as a reference. Don't worry. Right. Should be on the portal. When and how, we will let you know. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We'll continue the session by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, so dear faculty members, as we are going to end the day one session, so from tomorrow, I hope you all received the mail today for joining the session. From tomorrow, you will not get any kind of mail. From the same link, whatever the Zoom link which you have joined, it will work for all the 5 days. You can join the same YouTube link. I mean, same Zoom link, but the YouTube link will be different. So the YouTube link will be generated every day. So all the links will be shared in particular groups. Okay. And if you wanted to join the session in YouTube, the same link will work. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m.